Hello, everyone. So this is a video where you see, they say it's a video of Sokoto indigenes celebrating the killing and displacement of the Lakuwara terrorists in the state by the U.S. military. And the person who wrote it, Obiasogu David Afrisaga City, on Twitter said, now known as X, see how overjoyed and frenzied they are. They had suffered in silence for so long, and this feels like historic liberation. And I let me just take my glasses away and just really fully explain this to say to a lot of people. Sometimes what you see in the media is actually different from the reality that people have been going through. The people in the Northwest, especially Sokoto, Katsina, Zamfara, they've been so hard hit by terrorists. It's unbelievable. The kind of killings, like recently there were killings that happened. I think it was either Zamfara or Sokoto, where and I saw this video. I just looked at it. It was just the most heartbreaking video where you see they cut off somebody's head. You see the head was different from the body. You know, when they slaughter an animal and it's just there, you see the way the neck is. That was how that whole thing was. And this is the suffering that people have been going through. And most times there is silence from that area because, one, based on the fact of the religion, it just tells you to take in pain. You know, you don't complain too much. Whatever happens is the will of God. There's that submission to the will of God that a lot of, in the Muslim communities that happen. So you see, even when there is death, you see some people will be throwing themselves on the board. Well, you see that calmness to say, okay, this is God's way. What can you do? And in a way, that has been weaponized by incompetent governments using also, how do I put it, in a transactional malams and all of that. And that has really affected a lot of things where they tell people not to speak out, whatever is happening to people. They just use that mind engineering to tell them, oh, this is how God wanted it. This is God's will. There's nothing anybody can do. The killings are God's will. What else can you do? And then when people come out to speak, they keep telling them that protest is haram. Don't come out to protest. I mean, for some of you who follow me or my movements or the things that I've done or protests that I've done, you see how that whole protest is haram thing was used on me repeatedly over and over again. There were certain situations where there were a lot of death threats and, being called that you're not even a Muslim because you're protesting against the bad things that were happening in your country and your area. And so for some of us, we have the capacity to be able to speak out, to not allow anyone to hold down our voices. But in some, it hasn't been this way. So a lot of time, there is no news coming out from those places. When killings do happen also, and the other thing also is that when these killings happen, there is not enough sympathy that the people get. So their issues are not amplified. First of all, the people who are doing the killings are mainly Muslims, and the victims in this case are also Muslims. So there's a way of people are dismissive of it. People really don't care. Even the government, in the way that they react, if they are not able to, one of the things I've seen in Nigeria is that when people are not able to whip up religious or tribal sentiments, it doesn't concern them. For some, it is about, I call it biases, the different biases. For some, it's the religious bias. So that's why you see some people, they will talk about Leah Sharibu's abduction, but they will never talk about Chibok girls, abduction, just because for them, for that one, it's like administrative bias. This one happened during this person I didn't like. This one happened during the person that I like. For some religious, they will talk about the killings in the in Jos. They will talk about the killings in Jos, the killings in Benue, Nasarawa. They will never talk about the killings in Zamfara, in Katsina, in Sokoto because of religious difference, and vice versa. Some people will talk about the killings in Zamfara, in Sokoto, and all of that in Katsina, but they will never talk about the killings in the Middle Belt and all of that because it's a religion. Okay, they check the people that are killed, are they my religion or not my religion? Based on that, that's how they speak. And these are the things that are killing us, in Nigeria. For some, when issues concern women, they don't care. It is only when it concerns men, or for some, it's when it concerns men or it concerns women. So it's a whole lot of things. And these are some of the things that have really been keeping us down. So the people from the Northwest, especially from those areas, have had this issue majored. And I'll give you one very critical, one example that exemplifies this a whole lot. When there was a time that there was killings in Uromi, Edo State, some travelers, I think there were about 14 of them or 15, they were traveling and they were killed in Uromi. They were Northerners, Muslims, of course. There was such a huge outcry. Oh, Muslims are being killed in Edo, these are being killed in the south, blah, blah, blah. Even the northern governors were out. The Edo State governor had to fly to Lagos he had to fly to Kano to go and apologize and all of that. When that whole thing, 2 days after the killings in Uromi, about 16 vigilantes were killed in Sokoto. There was silence. Silence. The governors never bothered. The same people who were shouting that, oh, Muslims were killed, it's the same Muslims that have been killed here in this, but they kept quiet. The governors didn't come out to hold themselves accountable and say, oh, these people have been killed, vigilantes have been killed, 16 of them killed by terrorists. They just kept quiet. And so these are some of the problems that have really gone on. So when you see, even in terms of sometimes when people say that, oh, the Muslims aren't speaking, where are the Muslim Malams? It's not true. A lot of Muslims are speaking, but they are not being heard because it makes more sense when you can use religion and bring it out. You see Malams, even this negotiation that they've been doing, they've been angry. I've seen a lot of Malams that have spoken against it. A lot of people from those areas, a lot of Northerners have spoken against it. Even Borno, even this thing that they say, repentant Boko Haram, they are bringing them back into the military. People cried about it. They did town hall. They said, these are people that killed them. Kill them in very heinous manner. How are you now coming out to sort of like reward them? The government doesn't hear. They do their thing. And then people is, oh, they like it. They want it. No, they don't like it. They don't want it. They are crying. They are the ones who are being affected the most. It's not those of us in cities. Most of these people can't go to their farms. Most of these people have to sell everything to pay, ransom. You see people who don't have money, they are having to sell their lands, their properties, everything that they have, their inheritances, their heritage, just to be able to pay all of these ransom that are going on. So yes, you will see after this video, like you saw the video earlier, people will be happy, they are jubilating that the terrorists are being killed. Anybody that you see coming out on media telling you that nonsense that the terrorists cannot be killed, if you kill one terrorist, you kill her. In short, they are all, how do I put it? They are not speaking for the people. They're speaking for their selfish interest, whatever that interest must be. And the main thing that we all should focus on as a nation and unite on is ensuring that every terrorist, wherever they are, they go after them, they take them out, and we bring peace, unity, freedom to our country, for there to be economic prosperity, and for Nigeria to continue to be bigger and better. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.